A tragedy has occurred. I've run out of my new favorite condiment, chili crisp. I must make more. I've been hearing a lot about chili crisp lately, which makes me think it's on the rise, which is good because it's delicious. It tastes great on everything. I put it on chicken, you can put it on beef, tacos, enchiladas. I put it on deviled eggs once. Chef's kiss. Just treat it as a normal condiment. You're good to go. Think of it as the sophisticated ketchup. The original recipe that I'm working off of is from Bon Appetit. I do deviate just a little bit from the recipe, so I will link the original below in the description. But if you want to come along for this ride to Flavor Town, buckle up. We'll get started with the most annoying part of this recipe, which is the prep. If you have a mandolin, use it. Mine doesn't go so thin, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to work on my knife skills. What we're gonna do right now is prep the stuff that goes into the oil. 2 heads of garlic. Yes, you will be using every clove. 3 to 4 shallots, depending on the size of them. I'm using 4 because I got this little guy. About a 2-inch knob of ginger. So we're going to slice all of this. Chop this ginger pretty finely and put this in a separate dish. Don't put it with these. What I'm going to do with the shallots is I'm going to slice them in little halves like this and just do very thin slices. And you want to make sure that all of your cuts are pretty uniform. So I guess it's good that you can practice your knife skills. All right, who's cutting onions? I can't deal. All right, now for the fun part that will take you many moments. Let's get started with the garlic. The hardest part for me is getting, let's try this one again. Put all of your weight on it, so 5 tons. Show that garlic who's boss. Here we go. There's about 20 cloves of garlic here, and we're going to take each one out and slice it also very thinly. Try to get them the same thickness as the shallots. To get the little garlics out of their little shells, I'm gonna cut one end off, cut the other end off. And so you're not standing here all night just trying to like pick this paper off. Just put it on your board, get the flats out of your knife, put it over, give it a little slam. Much easier to get the paper off. Now that it's been 82 years, that chopping is done. So all of this is just here in a separate little bowl, waiting to be used. So we're gonna set this aside and concentrate on our ginger, which we are going to slice thinly, which we are going to dice up pretty fine. So I am just going to run a quick blade through it and set this aside. Get that. Oh, it smells so good in here already. Like, all of these flavors are just amazing. So we have a sauce pot. I set it over medium heat for now, but eventually you're gonna wanna lower it to a simmer. In here, we're gonna put 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. Get away from her. To the pot of oil, we're going to add the shallots and the garlic. Get yourself a slotted spoon. That's not a slotted spoon. Get yourself a slotted spoon and just kind of mix everything in there. Break those shallots up so they're a little separated. Get everything submerged in that oil. The last thing to go into the oil are 2 cinnamon sticks. We are going to bring this up to a simmer and then kind of eyeball it. I want to say it might take around 20-25 minutes. We don't want the shallots and the garlic to burn. Just keep an eye on it and babysit it a little bit. In the meantime, while that's going, in a separate bowl, make sure it's heat proof. Put in 2 teaspoons of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, your ginger, and I have a teaspoon of red pepper flake. I think the original recipe calls for something like 1/4 of a cup, but I don't know who's eating that, but it's not me. Too hot. So I just use a teaspoon. So we're gonna set this aside over here, and the second that our oil is done and our crunchies are done, we're going to strain the oil in here, which will then activate all those aromatics, and this will start to kind of cook the ginger. It'll just bloom all of the red pepper. It'll just be delicious. So keep this at the ready. Back over here at the stove, it's starting to kind of come to a little bit of a boil, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on it for the next 20 minutes or so. So keep on stirring it. You don't want anything to stick, and just let the magic happen. The idea behind this is we're gonna want it to be like a slow fry. These are going to get super crispy, and they will actually stay pretty crispy when you put them back into the oil later, because we're going to leave them out just for a little bit to get a little dry. It's been about 10 minutes or so. We're starting to get a tiny bit of color on this. You can really start to smell the cinnamon. It doesn't like smell like Christmas or anything. It just has that really delicious smell. We're just gonna keep on moving. All right, it's been about 15 minutes and we are definitely getting a little browner, as you can see, but they're on the right path right now. And we are just about there. See how deep that got? This has only been a couple of minutes since I last checked in, and they are getting crispy. Right from the stove, we're gonna go strain the oil while it's still very hot. So we have our little bowl of aromatics. I have a fine mesh metal strainer, which is what you want. Don't mess with any of those plastic ones. Right from the stove, super hot. Drain it all. And that's the sound you want to hear. See it bubbling? That's why you want a heat-proof bowl. This stuff, don't put it away, don't throw it away. Just put it aside, let it kind of crisp up. Let this sizzle, everything's being activated, it smells divine. I have my little leftover shallots and garlic and cinnamon. You can take the cinnamon out, discard that, but the shallots and the garlic, I think I let mine go a little too far, but they're still very delicious. I kind of like that burnt taste, but I like to just let these hang out a little bit, cool off, get a little crispy. Because if you put them into the oil when they're soft, they won't ever get their crisp back. So we're just gonna let these chill for a second. I'm just gonna whisk this up. Starting to get sizzly again. Now we're gonna add back in our little crispies. Incorporate those, and you're done. And the flavor is out of control. A little overhead shot. I put it in a white bowl so that you could like see it a little better, but oof, this stuff is so good. Just take some and drizzle it on as you like. Look at that, all that yummy, crunchy goodness. It's not horrible. So there you go. There's the chili crisp. Like I was doing before, you can play with it however you want to. I definitely took some things out. Make it how you like it. I've seen this done so many ways. So this is my special chili crisp. Seriously, I put it on everything. Hi, Chloe. She's coming to visit. But make it. Enjoy.